Hey everybody, welcome to Algo Expert. In this video, we're going to answer the following behavioral interview question. What aspects of software engineering do you think you're very good at? What about areas where you'd like to improve? How do you plan on improving? So starting with the areas that I think I'm very good at, from a purely technical point of view, I'm very well versed in everything related to the front end. So I'm very well versed in modern front-end frameworks like React, Angular, Redux, obviously, front-end languages, JavaScript. I'm very well versed in TypeScript, a lot of experience with that language, HTML, CSS, all the typical front-end stuff. Now, I also think that I'm particularly good at non-technical areas of software engineering. So for example, taking initiative, I think that I'm particularly good at doing things without being told to do them. So if it's a refactor that nobody's really been doing that had to be done, I'll go ahead and do it. Exploring projects that are worth exploring that we might want to do but that nobody's really decided to do. Setting up meetings to disambiguate confusion on a feature or a project. This brings me to the second sort of non-technical aspect of software engineering that I think I'm very good at, disambiguating ambiguity, or eliminating ambiguity rather. I'm very good at diving deep, asking questions, and making sure that people are on the same page, and also making sure that every stakeholder in a project is on the same page and every stakeholder has been heard, not just engineers, but also UX designers, UX writers. And here I'm pulling from my front-end experience and background. But yeah, that's something that I think I'm particularly good at. And then I'll add one last thing in this non-technical area of software engineering, which is what I like to call the glue work in software engineering, the unsexy sort of non-coding work that needs to be done for every project, like making sure that the back end and the front end are aligned and aren't going to have issues when they launch, that there's not going to be some sort of misalignment between these two parts of the stack, or making sure that launch requirements are met, making sure that we've done some manual QA testing if we don't have people whose job it is to manually QA test our UI. All of these things I think that I'm particularly good at. Now, if we're talking about areas that I think I can improve in, one particular area that comes to mind is getting a better understanding of how back-end decisions are made and how back-end trade-offs are thought of, especially as they relate to database operations. This is something that I found myself kind of lacking when I was working as a software engineer at Google. And to be honest, I think that a lot of back-end engineers have the same kind of issues with the front end. But so for me specifically, I know that I've made the mistake in the past of saying things like, oh, well, this should be a simple back-end fix, or the back-end should be able to support this easily for us and we'll be able to do this feature. And it turned out, it's not quite that simple to implement whatever I was talking about on the back-end side of things. So that's something that I think I could improve on. And the way that I think I should improve on this is, number one, obviously doing full stack work. It would help for me to do more full stack work than just front-end work. But then also attending design meetings, like API design meetings with back-end engineers. I've started to do this a little bit lately. Reading some of the back-end engineers' design docs. I've also started to do that lately, kind of at my leisure. I've asked a few back-end engineers to just add me to email threads where they share their design docs and their general design conversations, and that's been very helpful. And then finally, just kind of poking at back-end engineers a little bit more often and asking them questions. So that's what I've been doing and what I think I'm going to continue to do to improve in this area.